You all set, Paul?
Not yet. Make sure the live stream goes off.
Oh, got to keep it open, Gil. We got people showing up. We got people showing up too. There's Gary.
All right, we're off.
You are good to go, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Town of Newington Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order for December 10th, the regular meeting. Please rise and salute the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Maureen, could you please do the roll call?
Sure. Commissioner King. Commissioner Fox.
Here.
Here.
Commissioner Harvey.
Here.
Commissioner Minor. Commissioner Pascarelli.
Here.
Chairman Sobieski.
Here.
Commissioner Woods.
Here.
Commissioner Hoffman.
Here.
And Commissioner Rice Davis. You're all set.
Yeah, I'd like to appoint Commissioner Hoffman for Commissioner Kane. Okay, thank you. Approval of the agenda, Paul?
There are no changes, although we could technically amend it if we wanted it to. We did receive 2 more applications. I just want to let the TPZ know about it. We have petitions for scheduling on there, but we did receive an 824 application for, was it 103 Lewis? For 103 Lewis. So that is an 824 for 41 units. We just got it.
830G.
Well, sorry, 830G. Wow.
Yeah.
I have too many things in my mind right now. An 830G application. We aren't doing.
That's a little different.
Yes, sorry about that. So we received an 830G application for 41 units at 103 Lewis Street. We received that on the 8th, so on Monday. So it just came into our department. Again, per the statutory receipt, it was received over 24 hours prior to this meeting. I'm working on scheduling with them right now, going through that process and working on initial review, and then we'll get our comments back out to the applicant. That information will be posted on our current application since it's now been received. So that will be on our website under current applications. I'll get that up tomorrow with that application packet, the plans, and then we'll go through this process again. And then the other one we received, do you remember the Progress Circle address?
Commerce Court.
Commerce Court.
40 Commerce Court.
Is it Commerce Court for
Progressive.
Progressive?
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, it's been a long day. So, so we received the Commerce Court. This, you remember, they came in for a special permit a little while ago to convert the Progressive to an automotive specialty use. That they're coming in to actually do that modification for the overhang area they had to the side and actually converting that to building space. Again, that just came in recently. We'll review it to see if it hits the thresholds for coming to the commission. They also are under the wetlands for application for that because in the upland review area. So either way, they're going to wetlands. If it does not meet the requirements and the thresholds, I will just report to you on what it is. If it doesn't go over the percentage increase and it's not requiring any more parking or it's not doing any of that. So I'll do that analysis and then schedule it accordingly. So those are 2 other items that we did receive that are statutorily received.
Thank you, Paul. First round of public participation. I wish to speak. Come up, state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Rodriguez. I live at 1307 Main Street. I'm here tonight to talk about accessory dwelling units or ADUs. My wife grew up in town and we've lived in our house since 2015. We have 2 kids in elementary school, multiple relatives in town, and don't ever plan on leaving our house. We love our 100-plus-year-old house, and we've invested a lot of time and money repairing, updating, and customizing it to fit us. That's home ownership. One of the main goals for any home repair or upgrade we have made has been accessibility, since both my wife and her father have neurological disorders that will progress in the future. The one thing our house is missing is a garage. As my wife and I discussed our options, we agreed that a detached garage located behind the house with an apartment above it would be a great fit with the character of our house and the layout of our lot. We could also build it to be fully accessible, as new construction with accessibility in mind is much easier than modifying a 100-plus-year-old building. The accessory apartment could be used for our aging parents if they need, or for ourselves should we need it in the future. Under our town's current zoning regulations, there is no way for us to legally build this on our property. There's many reasons for this, including setbacks, lot size, square footage, building height, etc. Here's the frustrating part. When I researched the history of my house, I found that a detached 2-car garage with an apartment above it, exactly what we would like to build, once existed on my property. It was built in prior to 1940 and was in use for at least 25 years. It had the address of 1311 Main Street. Maybe some of you actually remember that building, but I don't. The original owner of our house lived there until she passed. There are still remnants of the foundation next to my driveway. In 2021, the state of Connecticut passed Public Act 2129, which reformed zoning and allowed for ADUs as of right. On May 25th, 2022, the Planning and Zoning Commission opted out of this public act. Since then, neighboring towns that also opted out have updated their regulations on ADUs. Currently, the implementation of the Town Center Master Plan is being discussed and debated by this commission. One of the goals of that plan is to increase housing density to better support businesses in the town center. Allowing for ADUs as of right, especially around the town center, furthers this goal without the need for corporate developer-owned rental complexes. Instead, ADUs benefit local contractors and individual homeowners. Additionally, it opens up the potential for new state funding under House Bill 8002, which was signed into law 2 weeks ago. I urge the commission to either opt back into Public Act 2129 or quickly address and amend our zoning regulations to match the town center master plan goals and allow for ADUs as of right. Thank you.
Trying to sit down without killing myself. Good evening, Bill McCarthy, 206 Churchill Drive. Nice agenda change on from Paul there, because that's what I wanted to lead off with, is something that's going on right up from Connecticut Fast Track. The town of West Hartford is planning on having a meeting, an informational meeting at the community center on December 17th at 6:30 p.m. regarding an 830G, what did you say, 824?
830G. That's the correct one.
An 830G condos for sale, 54 units with unit home ownership on an old manufacturing piece of property that they bought. Sounds like they're planning on putting in a nice little project there. The prices are, I think they were estimating 150 to 200,000 for the units, which is a very good price. The only I plan on going to the meeting. It's going to be Wednesday night, the 17th at 6:30 p.m. at the Elmwood Community Center. At the meeting last night, town council meeting, there was a lot of committee appointments and stuff like that. And I just wanted to encourage everybody to come to committees. I haven't been to see you guys in quite a while, but it's nice to see everybody up and about. So tying in with the 830G and available properties, I know you guys are working on or have an inventory of available of unused properties or underused properties that are in the town of Newington. And then the whole zoning thing. Excuse me. I know that the Kitts Lane property I don't think the Kitts Lane property ever really got zone changed, that it's still in the Turnpike zoning, even though they're gonna build the 830G apartments there. And then, the new one is nice to hear about. But I think overall, you guys were looking at an inventory of the different properties that are still available within the town for development. And we have to consider working on our zoning regulations. The other thing Casadora, sitting in Price Chopper today at the Casadora. I know you guys already went through you guys and was approved. And it's gonna go reapplied to the wetlands or the conservation people, and they have to do their thing again. But it just in the starkness of the winter, it looks poor. And I think that I think Casadora can do some really good work at improving that property. I don't know if it has to come back after it goes through conservation, if it has to come back to you guys, or if you guys have already completed your investigation or your application review. And just a shout out to Chris for Garfield Street. I think those guys did a wonderful job. I saw buses down in the parking lot again today. I think that's everything. At the community center in West Hartford, it's upstairs on the right-hand side in room 24. And that's at 6:30. Thanks. Nice to see everybody. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Bill. Paul, have you looked at any available properties that are buildable? Do you have that list?
So I think there was an older one when I first started. I think that we started to look at too. It does need to be updated. So that's something we can look at too. But yeah, it's most of the time, it's not, us advertising this is available. Most of the agents know.
I was just
Yes.
wondering, so Bill will give an answer on it.
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Move on to the zoning officer's report. Any questions on the zoning officer's report?
Usual one. Maple Hill Avenue? Yes, we are in court. There's an appeal pending. It's with the attorneys. I think it's on the judge's calendar for the 15th. For some sort of action.
Is anybody keeping track of how many appeals we've had?
On this one, on this action, yeah, you can follow along too. Again, we don't want to get too much in the weeds on legal
Yeah.
actions, but you can follow. Again, this, I think, is the first on this.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, Commissioner Harvey.
That cease and desist that you have
Yep. Yeah, look at so,
on Clarendon, I guess it is.
yes.
Just wondering where we go from, are they cooperating at all or?
I have not talked to the gentleman in a couple months. So, I have to reach back out to him. So the next, from here, it would be a fine situation and move forward.
Is that cease and desist brought to him by a marshal or?
Go certified mail and regular mail to his address. He doesn't live there. It's a vacant lot. He lives in New Britain, this gentleman.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hoffman, do you have any questions?
No.
Commissioner Fox? Okay. Okay, next on the list is remarks by commissioners. Remarks by commissioners here. Just
Wanted to follow up on Mr. McCarthy's comments about Casadoro. We did not approve anything for Casadoro other than the initial building, but that lot, I believe, is what he was talking about. Obviously, it has to go through wetlands before we could take any kind of action. So this commission has not done anything with that lot until the Conservation Commission either, well, if they approve it, then it comes to us. If they deny it, it doesn't come to us.
Yeah, that they withdrew their last one because they withdrew from.
Right, they withdrew it, yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Now we're going to public hearings. Get the agenda for public hearings.
Okay. Read it from there. Read it from there. So this is petition TPZ 25-22. Special permit for freestanding sign under section 6.2.5 at 77, AKA 77 and 93 Payne Road in the PD Plan Development Zone. Applicant contact Gary Dayharsh, owner SBS Realty LLC.
Okay, so I will then jump into reading it all over again in the long form. So Newington Town Plan and Zoning Commission, notice of public hearing December 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Notice is hereby given that the Newington Town Plan and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing in Council Chambers, Room 103 at Town Hall, 200 Garfield Street, Newington, Connecticut, on Wednesday, December 10th, 2025, to consider the following petitions. Petition TPZ 2522, special permit for freestanding signs, section 6.2.5 at 77, AKA 77 and 93 Payne Road in the PD Plan Development Zone. Applicant contact Gary Dayharsh, owner SBS Realty LLC. This public hearing will be a Zoom webinar hybrid meeting. Information on how to attend will be posted on the town website at link follows. These petitions and related materials are available for public inspection at the Town Planner's Office, Town Hall, Room 204, and through the published agenda of the Town Plan and Zoning Commission Agenda Center. Link follows. Persons who require an accommodation to participate in this public hearing should contact the Town Planner at 860-665-8578 or townplanner@newingtonct.gov, not less than 24 hours before the public hearing. Submitted, Paul Dixon, Town Planner, ran in the rare reminder on November 27th and December 4th.
Thank you. The applicant here?
Yes.
Good evening, Gary Dayharsh for SBS Realty. I was before this commission months ago to discuss the signage on this property, and the result of that was that we were able to count the side of the building which faces the parking lot as the frontage of the building, and therefore use that dimension to calculate the allowable signage for the project. Here tonight to ask for approval of the freestanding sign, the size of which is the result of that previous approval. So once this is done, the signage on the property will be maxed out. So, that sign is as indicated on the screen up there. As far as the location goes, it would be a metal sign with die cut letters, internally lit colors, as you can see there. And I believe all the signage will, after this is approved, will conform with all town regulations.
Commissioner Harper.
Harry, as far as you know, is this the final design?
It
is the final design, assuming you have the same one I do. I think you do, right?
Yeah,
From
the
today, yeah.
updated one, you
Um,
sent one out.
The only thing that could change, Joe, would be that the white panel at the bottom, that's been reserved in case the pickleball space becomes two different users, then there would be an additional sign below there, but within the same size.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Hoffman, any questions? None. Commissioner Fox?
No questions, Mr. Chairman. Oh, yeah, what's the sign made of?
So the sign is, it's got a steel structure covered by aluminum that is die cut for the letters. There's then colored plastic put inside that sign, internally lit, and that's what shows the colors that you see on the drawing now.
And what
Commissioner
kind of,
Pascarelli, you have any
do you
questions?
have?
No
All
question.
set, Commissioner Fox?
What kind of lighting do you have? LED, fluorescent?
There'll be LED lights within the cabinet.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Woods?
I was just gonna ask a question about the lighting. Do we allow it? Internal lighting? I didn't think we did.
In the town center,
Center, we
no. For the other signs, I believe, yes.
Only in this town.
And Eric can speak to that too, but I believe we do, because a lot, like example, I think Hanwha recently came in and got their sign in there as an
I mean,
internal lit
I'm
sign.
fine with it. but-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, specifically the town center and the town center overlay district, not internally lit. So we prefer the
Yeah.
halo lighting or
Yeah,
something
There's
else.
there are some sign regulations that go into how many nits and
Other
how,
thing we need to take a look at.
right, and stuff like that. So that's the only thing I would, as staff, consider to the applicant, just to
Yeah.
make sure that whatever you have for a sign designer kind of gets it right in the area and doesn't overdo the lighting.
Yes, yes, yep. Again, with an interior lit sign, you don't have to worry about blinding anybody.
Yeah.
I just may add that the survey up there, this is an as-built survey. That pad is already poured for the foundation for the sign. And this is generally in the same location that he showed the sign on the approved site plan. Because you approved basically the location on that approved site plan, but you just didn't follow through with that. And it's approximately 14 to 15 feet by scale from the edge of the road.
Yep, and as noted in the staff report, the town engineer reviewed the location and did not see any issues with sight lines or any other issues with costs.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Paul. Okay. Let me see if anybody's opposed to this. All right. Anybody else wants to speak in favor of this? All right. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition?
No one online has their hand raised, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, what's your pleasure?
I move we close the public hearing.
And move to old business.
25, 23. I think it's already in old business.
It's on new business, so it's just a motion to
Just
close.
Move to
Okay.
close it.
Very good. Is there a second?
Second, Fox.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carries unanimously. Okay. Thank you, Gary. Good seeing you. Thanks. Okay. Next is, next is approval of the minutes.
Move to
Motion to approve the minutes.
It's just the spelling of my name at the beginning. Other than that, it's not a problem.
That's fine. I mean, you can make
It's
a
just that-
motion to as corrected.
Yeah, that's just, yeah,
You want to make a motion as corrected?
yeah.
Okay. Is there a
So
second?
yeah,
Sorry.
no, okay.
Is there a second? Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You passed. New business. Okay, new business petition 2522 special permit freestanding sign section 6.2.5 at 77 AKA 7783 Payne Road. This is in the PD zone, which is planned development zone. Applicant Gary Dehash, owner SBS Realty. Okay. Yes.
I move to approve petition TPC 25-22 for a freestanding sign at 77 AKA 77-93 Payne Road. Reason for approval, this application meets the requirements of the special permit criteria.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That's taken care of. Next is petition 25, TPZ petition 2533, biennial review of bulk quarry operations. Is the applicant here?
So Chris Costello, the applicant, has actually joined us online.
Okay.
If you want to, Eric, you could probably even just stop sharing the slideshow and the president, he'll come up full so people can see.
Shall we read the petition?
Yeah. go ahead.
Okay, so this is petition TPZ 2523. The biennial review of
How do I
bulk
stop
quarry
sharing?
operations and site plan at the Bulk Company, 301 Hartford Avenue in the I Industrial Zone. Applicant contact Christopher J. Costello, 642 Black Rock Avenue, New Britain, Connecticut. Owner, the Bulk Company, Tilcon, Connecticut.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Chris.
Chris Costello, I'm the environmental and land manager for Tilcon, representing Tilcon for their biannual quarry review. I'm assuming you can see the site plan.
Do you actually have a site plan up that you can share? Or do you want us to share it? Because if you want to, you can take over share and run through the presentation.
Let me. I don't know if I can.
So while Chris is getting this up, I'll just remind the TPZ that the reason that the applicant is here tonight is a requirement of the 1989 agreement between the town of Newington and the Balf Company. It does recognize Balf's right to continue operating its quarry on Mountain Road and Hartford Avenue. And again, it's it's a biannual review that Balf agrees to submit to the Town Plan and Zoning Commission an updated site plan showing proposed new uses, proposed new structures, and planned perimeter areas of excavation, if any, and a statement of its intended operations for the ensuing 2 years. So that's the reason in front of you. It's not a typical site plan application. This is kind of one of those by agreement. They come in every 2 years, show you what has been, what's done, show you the general area of the quarry. I do have some pictures. So Chris, were you able to get that up?
Yeah, I'm trying. It won't.
If not, you want to bring it up, Eric?
Yeah.
No, we can have Eric bring it up too, but myself and the town engineer both went to the site with Mr. Costello. It's pretty much exactly as I remember it 2 years ago. A little more excavation along kind of the floor area that they're doing, but there's been no further encroachment further out. It's primarily going downward as it has been doing for years.
I mean, we really don't need to plan unless you want to see it, because there's really not much that's going on.
No, I'm
there.
bringing it up.
Okay.
Just.
So actually, Chris, if you would like to, while we're getting the plan up, if you'd like to kind of go through the kind of your documentation a little bit too about what's been done over the last 2 years prior, and then the plan for the next 2 years.
Yep. So not much has happened there in the last 2 years. 2024, we didn't excavate any stone, and the asphalt plant did not operate. This past year, we removed a little bit of stone, about 200,000 tons, primarily for concrete production, and the asphalt plant ran for 3 or 4 months. Didn't produce much either. We expect the same thing for the next couple of years. So the primary crushing unit that we have not operated. We've been hiring an outside company with a portable just to crush stone, like I said, for concrete production. The spec of this stone in this quarry is the best stone we have for concrete, so we're just using it for that. And that's what we're going to do probably for the foreseeable future.
So again, I think if the commission has any questions, we can run through the plan.
Mr. Woods?
Yeah, more curiosity, how far does the basalt go down into the ground? You know?
No, I do not know that.
You do not? Okay.
We do
I was
have cores,
curious.
but I don't know how deep it goes. I could get that information.
I'm just curious, that's all, if you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I know they've done cores, so I'm pretty sure they know how deep, but I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Pasquale?
I mean, this sounds fine. There's not, seems like there's, it's the same, it's moving forward in the same way, not much change. But I guess my question would be, we do have a board or a commission that also for the neighbors of the quarry. So, I mean, I guess my question, the Balf Commission. So I guess my question would be if there's no concerns from them, and we would know that, right?
Yeah, but typically, I think on that one, I believe we tried to have that meeting last year. A quorum couldn't be met. And I think that was actually even the year prior to. So that'll be kind of moving forward, getting quorum, getting people seated on that.
On that, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I can do for I'll actually share the plan.
Commissioner Harpy.
Mr. Costello, can you, do you project out what the life of this quarry is?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that either, but I can find that out as well. I don't.
Can you, point out to us, Mr. Costello, what areas you no longer mine?
We mine in the same areas that we have been. There's no areas that we no longer mine.
Yep. So I can point it out to the commission too, since I've been there and I've seen it too, and I have control over this in front of me. So you can kind of see that's the quarry in the center, and I do have some pictures too. You can see afterwards once we share that. So you can see kind of where they've highlighted the excavated area. So between 23 and 25, it's primarily been, again, advancing this face that is in the bottom of the quarry. Working with Mr. Costello and looking at the areas, it's kind of how it's been described, that as this continues to move over, you can kind of see as they've moved over through the years from starting to here, and then they continue to move over. So once, they reach that again, because they have a system of getting down to the bottom, you have to have the ramps to get there. So that kind of limits you a little. And then in the future, that'll be figured out how that gets worked out. But right now, the ramp system kind of leads all the way down into the quarry, and then they are advancing the face towards this direction right here.
Yeah, which would be south.
I'll second, Commissioner Harpy.
And I know back then at the period of time, I guess the issue was an odor that was emanating from the quarry, and I guess you guys resolved that in some fashion. And you've always been good to your word and very professional in your management of it. So I don't have any questions beyond that.
Yeah, we tried to
highlight. Yep, and a highlight for the commission too. This was the same as the last update. Again, as they noted, as Mr. Costello noted, the primary crushers where you can see kind of over here that are not operating anymore. These are the historic crushers on site. That has been replaced for the last several years with a temporary crushing area here that's actually brought in and then brought out. So the machinery is not there all year round, but that is conducted right here on site. And then the bituminous plant, I believe, it's right here on site.
Yep, that's correct.
And Eric, if you want to go back and share the slideshow. Got the first picture?
That is the first picture.
All right, so right there, you're at these pictures of the first one are taken from the bottom of the current, excavation of the quarry. This would be looking south. You can kind of see the tiers in the right system. That's actually, how it's been excavated down, and the lower tier is actually the current access road. You can go to the next one. So this is, again, looking south, but slightly shifted in the other one with the other face of the quarry. Again, the area of the water that settles, of course, in the bottom. They do have all of their discharge permits as noted in their application materials, and that is handled by, state and federal agencies, not within our purview. And that would be, I believe, Russell Road up on the top there. And again, at the bottom, this is kind of where the ramp kind of comes into that excavated area. And then that would be kind of the, to the left side, the Jordan Lane area, previous excavation and that, issue that came up, but that's been resolved, obviously, but that's kind of looking towards Jordan Lane area on the left and then Russell on the right. Keep going. This is taken, again, up on top of the ramp leading down, kind of gives you another view of the quarry. Actually have a panorama, but you can kind of see this is at the bottom there. That's the current excavated face. And as they move in the direction south, as you can see, there's still some left on the floor there before going down to another level. But that's how they've been doing it over the last several years, is just continuing that face that you see. Same thing to the left. And then the next one is a panorama. I'm probably almost done. So this is having fun over there? Just use the arrows. Panorama, just to give you kind of the same thing, the area where it took left to right. This gives you a good wide open view of the bottom of the quarry. And this is the area that's typically where the stone crusher goes. So you see it's a wide open area. It's adjacent to where the stone is currently stockpiled, different stockpiles, 3/4, so on and so forth. And I think you do maybe one more picture. Same thing, stockpiles to the right, and then to the left is when you would go down into the quarry. Is that it? And last one, big open stockpile area. Actually, big open crushing area. Again, as you can see, it's just kind of left there in its state, used when it's used, and when the machines are not there, they go elsewhere. And that's all I have for the photos, but again, just kind of give you an idea of what it looks like at the quarry, because I know most people have not been in there.
Commissioner Herpy?
I'm just curious, how many acres is involved in that?
Got that off your top of your head, Chris?
No, I think it's 200, 225, somewhere around there.
This drawing's 100 scale, so it's a big piece of property.
Yeah.
So when the day comes that this can't be mined any longer, is there some condition of what went on there that limits any kind of development, like the landfill kind of situation?
So that, I think that's a discussion that the town will need to have sometime in the future. There's nothing that I'm aware of at this time, but that will be something, again, it is a industrial zone property.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Hoffman, any questions? Commissioner Fox? Commissioner Fox still on there?
He's on.
Okay.
Checking it out.
Okay. What's the commission's pleasure? All set?
Yeah. You wanna go?
Yeah, I'll make the motion for 25-23. Biennial review of Bulk Quarry operations and site plan at the Bulk Company, 301 Hartford Avenue in the I Industrial Zone. Applicant contact Christopher Costello, 624 Black Rock Avenue, New Britain, Connecticut. Owner, the Bulk Company, Tilcon, Connecticut Incorporated. Motion to approve acceptance. Move to accept petition 25-23 for the biennial review of the Bulk Quarry operations and site plan dated May 17th, 2019, revised December 1st, 2025, prepared by J.R. Russo and Associates pursuant to the Town of Newington and Bulk Company Agreement dated April 26th, 1989. Reason for acceptance: the review complies with the 1989 agreement between the town and Bulk Quarry.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Passes unanimously.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You might want to bring up GIS for this one. Or maybe I won't.
Petitions for,
Yep, so do you have
We have one more.
one
Yeah.
more?
oh,
Let's
oh,
see.
see, I'm sorry, yeah, okay.
GIS,
see.
you want near map.
You want to read that,
One
Chief?
of the lines.
Yep, petition TPZ 25-26, CGS 824 referral, disposition of a portion of the Griswoldville Avenue right-of-way abutting 125 Waverly Drive, plus or minus 2,208 square feet.
All right, so this is a town petition. You will have in your packets a memo from Jonathan Altschul, town manager, to myself, dated December 3rd, regarding the 824 referral for 125 Waverly. So the owners of, Eric's gonna bring it up on GIS. So this is a different one of, recently, you did a 824 regarding on the spur on Budney Road. This is a little different in that it is a portion of a right of way that is being requested. So the background on this is the owner installed the fence. They installed the fence onto town property. They were informed it was town property. They removed it, which is good, back to their property line. But they would really like to have a larger lot for their family. So they've approached the town with this request. So this is referred to you by two different mechanisms, both the 824 referral, but also for the 1989 policy for the town regarding basically selling undersized lots. This is, again, a little different, but that's the policy we have in place that's been utilized for right-of-ways. They're looking at potentially about 12 feet of this right-of-way. So in your staff memo, I kind of go through, as far as the plan of conservation development goes, it normally doesn't get this granular, but I've included two different things for consideration. Again, this is an area that is identified, or at least appears to be when you look at the pedestrian plan for in the POCD. The red line is kind of covered up with Griswoldville Avenue. It's assumed that the plan was to potentially run a sidewalk there. But again, in talking with the town engineer, there's at least 40 feet now, maybe a little more. They're requesting 12. So you're left with, even 25 to 28, even if we're counting for differentials and, without it being actually surveyed to say it's 30, it's 25, it's 27, how that much. But we're really looking at 25 feet on the bare minimum left over on the right of way from the curb. So from there, and talking to the town engineer, he did not see any potential issues with, being able to put a sidewalk in that area. Our discussion, he discussed it with Eversource. Eversource needs 15 feet around the pole to maintain their infrastructure. So that would be left over. The gas company has zero interest in putting gas on Griswoldville Avenue. Their loop currently runs in a different direction. And the town engineer's discussion with them was primarily around that there wouldn't be enough demand on Griswoldville with only a couple houses to run a gas line down there when they have an existing loop going through. The one organization we have not heard officially back from is the MDC. Initial discussions with the town engineer that they do not anticipate a near future project by conversation with staff. But again, we have received no written communication to that effect. So we don't have anything yet on there. Again, that was one thing in talking with the town engineer and the town manager. The biggest question, of course, that comes up with when you're giving, potentially giving up right of way is there any need for any facilities within there? Because, once it's transferred over, getting it back becomes an easement process, that becomes a whole thing. So again, this is new in front of you tonight. It's something, we have, of course, discussed with the property owner through the removal of the fence and the request through the town manager's office. So again, the pedestrian plan, maybe likely sidewalks. The bicycle plan does not show any potential desire, I guess, for a bike infrastructure down the street. Who knows whether that changes in the future or not, but the current POCD, again, has no recommended bicycle routes in this area, not even suitable, most suitable, or less suitable. It's not shown on any of them. Of course, it shows the Berlin Turnpike as less suitable, but hopefully one day that raised grant may get dislodged or may get renamed or something happens along the Berlin Turnpike when we can look at those facilities along the Berlin Turnpike. So yeah, this is in front of you for both the 824 referral and also per that 1989 policy with the town. That policy does request if the TPZ request the TPZ to provide any other additional recommendations. So from here, this is kind of a little more of the unusual 824 when you're talking about a small, like a 12-foot sliver of the town right of way. I think Eric has it up there where you can see and you can kind of mouse over the areas. Maybe even turn on the aerial.
Not there, okay.
So that's the area we're talking. You can see the large right of way that's there. And this actually persists through most of Griswoldville Avenue. It's an interesting historic street that, there is not, the maps we have on this are primarily older maps to the point where I believe you even had a rendering plant out there at one point. And this right of way has actually been changed a little. At one point, the street wasn't even located in the right of way. It was meandering. So this is classic New England, just making a road where a road makes sense. So it's been realigned over time, especially when you get down close to the Berlin Turnpike, it's very much narrowed. And that was primarily done with the construction of the Walgreens on the Berlin Turnpike. you can see you have a very wide right of way, but then as you go right to the Berlin Turnpike, it narrows right down. Put that up there. Yep. And then it jumps right into just the existing sidewalk that's in front of Walgreens and right along pretty much the road on the northern side. So there's a little bit of facility coming from the Berlin Turnpike that connects to the other sidewalks, but there is nothing down Griswoldville Avenue. So if the commission has any questions, is looking for any additional information, again, as a reminder, as an 824 referral, anytime a town sells land is a trigger for an 824. Also, anytime a town narrows a right of way, a street or a right of way is also a trigger for an 824. So this checks two of the boxes on that.
I have a question, Paul. The MDC has not responded to this at all.
No, they have not.
Would it be feasible for us to contact them again? I mean, I'm just asking a question.
Yeah,
I mean,
the town engineer
I
has
think
gone.
you've got enough right away there after the sale. But, you know, I think the MDC needs to be notified.
They just replaced the water line.
Yeah, and they replaced the water line,
They just
so
replaced it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From
They just replaced
Waverly down to
Yeah.
all the way up
Yeah.
to Kits.
the
yeah.
one thing that is missing
It's
there
in the
is
road.
MDC sewer. So some of those are still on septic.
Yeah.
So again, that is a older part of town. So that's one of the rare areas that is still on septic in Newington.
But there's still enough room.
Yeah, and most of the time, those facilities do get installed in the road. Again, the town engineer, when I talked to him, it's like, okay, where are you at with that? He said he did email more than one person at MDC, hasn't received anything back formally from them yet. But they do not, the people he talked to, again, this is just talking to them, nothing official, do not anticipate that project in the near future, but you know, we don't have an exact course.
Well, it appears we have enough land to do any changes necessary for any pipes or anything like that. So that was my only concern. All right. Like, any other questions, Commissioner Harpy?
So it's my understanding this party that's asking the town to do this was in violation initially for some time with the sign they put, with the fence they put up.
It was actually it was, I would say it was turned around as far as the zoning violation goes, turned around.
Pretty
quickly.
quickly, yeah.
Yeah, so
I-
it's,
I met him as contractor on site a couple of times.
Was that something you picked up on or the neighbors complained?
There was a
about?
neighborhood complaint. I went out there, took a look.
It affected the sightline.
It did affect the sight line. It was originally he had the 6-foot fence all the way around and we had to drop it because he's on a corner lot and whatever. And then we discovered that I didn't even realize that the right of way was the way it was there until I looked at his survey and like he was well off of his property.
So
But-
what happens if we say, go ahead, the council votes on this and then a year down the road, NBC goes, oops, we do have a right of way there. Then what happens? The fence comes down or?
yep, it becomes a negotiation. That's something, again, I can talk to the town engineer about, but typically what I've seen is, yes,
Because
when the infrastructure
MDC
goes in, it becomes an
MDC
easement and
From
then,
my own experience, is has no tolerance for violating the right, none what. And it cost the town $250,000 at one point in time to find that out. So to be fair to the council, I personally would have a problem supporting it without MDC's letter. Maybe we call Mr. Lebec over there and ask him to get us an answer.
Commissioner Hoffman?
I kind of agree. We really need to have everybody sign off on this before we give them the go ahead.
Okay.
So I agree with.
Commissioner Fox? Commissioner Woods?
MDC does not have right of way.
correct, it's the town of Newington's right
It
of
is
way.
easement right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Again, I don't have any problem if you want to wait, but my guess is they're not gonna put sewers there because there's not enough houses. It would cost those few residents a fortune. So I don't think it'll ever be used for anything, but
Commissioner Pascarelli?
We're gonna vote on this tonight, or
So you-
or we
you could
possibly could
table
table it.
you
Yep,
could.
so
Yeah.
you do have the option to table, I
I mean, I
believe.
think if any of the commissioners needs more time or needs it, an answer from as another party, then we have to
Yep.
table it.
And my quick math on it, again, it's interesting things with the 824. And if you want to, you can check me real quick, because this was done earlier, really earlier before the meeting, to look for the 35 days to issue report should fall on the next regularly scheduled meeting date of 1/14. So 35 days from today, because that's actually part of the 824 statute.
And if we don't act on it,
It's considered
approved.
recommended positively.
Recommended, and council still has to go through their own process.
Yeah, and again, it's to just reiterate again, it's beating the dead horse on the 824, but the way this mechanism works, it's basically to advise. And if the TPZ positively recommends it, then it can be approved normal way through council. If the TPZ does not recommend it, it requires a 2/3 majority of the council to pass. So that's really the trigger. So the TPZ can never say, no, you can't do that. It just brings it from one level of voting to another.
I mean, you give MDC another chance, but my guess is they won't respond. It'll take them 2 years to respond to this.
Well, I would like to have some type of response from MDC. All right, because I know, that, past experience with the MDC, they're late getting back, all of a sudden they need something. And it throws everything in disarray. So we can table this for tonight until the next meeting.
Should be able to, yes.
Oh.
Yeah. With that count, you want to do the day calculator real quick for me again?
We only have till the next meeting. Either
Yeah.
we act or it just goes through.
Right, well, no, by the next meeting, we should try to reach out to the MDC one more time.
Yep, because I know Chris has reached out twice to 2 different ones there, and again, has gotten the verbal, not likely, they don't anticipate, but no one's
As
responded.
long as we get something from them in writing. So this way here, if something happens, I don't want the town being like, that's all I'm asking. I mean, So I'd like to,
The town wouldn't be liable. MDC doesn't have it right away. So if they decide to do something, then they would have to negotiate with the new
January
landowner
14th.
right,
to make that happen. So we're out of it. If we decide and the council decides to move this forward, it's then between them and MDC.
Yep. And I would say from like the planning perspective, this is, again, we're talking about the bike routes and that, and it's just, there is provision for, the actual infrastructure for the town and planning things out. So it's kind of closely related to that type of jurisdiction, or review and talk about the POCD. I did not drill down into individual stuff talking about every utility, but it provides those general statements, to provide for utilities, to provide for future. So, that is the planning aspect of it. Again, most of the time MDC does run stuff in the roads. But if the commission is looking for an answer to that one, that's something I can ask the town engineer to keep pestering them.
I'd feel a little more comfortable with that, but, so we can table this until the next meeting, but we're gonna act on it by the next meeting on this. Yes,
Yes.
agree with you, Steve?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, do I have a motion to table next meeting?
So moved.
Is there a
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay.
Let me,
Okay, old business, none, petitions for scheduling, Paul?
Yep, so you received, do you want to bring the one up that says Paul after it too? I'm sorry, I'll take care of it. So, let's see, there we go. So we have the 2 petitions that are listed. I'm actually going to bring the other one up under, the town planner report as well. So again, we have the petitions. And then I'll do this. Sorry about that, the pause. Why is this doing that to me?
So there are 2 petitions.
Yeah, read them if you could.
The first is to allow live entertainment within an existing restaurant, 217 Kelsey Street. That's the Prime Burger. So I can sign off on their entertainment liquor permit. They currently do not have approval for that. The second item that's coming up is the Quick Stop at Robbins and Willard Avenue wants to convert from a convenience store to a straight liquor store. The restaurant that's attached to it will stay in place. It's just a conversion for the use. And And those public hearings are tentatively scheduled for the January 14th meeting. We could juggle them as needed.
Okay, any questions? Okay. Town planner report, Paul.
Okay, so I think as I noted last time, I have to dig into the housing bill. Grog is working on synopsis, and what I'm looking to do is to get as many synopses together for you. Again, looking for something that is as close to a straight legal analysis as I can find, and if I find other ones again that kind of the whole gamut, I think it would be good to actually kind of put them together, and then hopefully at the next meeting, we can have a discussion regarding what this does, what this means for us, what's this going to do to some of the regulations. There's going to be questions again with the town. From my initial reading of it, the 830J plans that are required will be replaced by the new housing needs analysis. Again, we'll have the opportunity as a town to work with CROG or to generate our own. Again, that's something that I'll be bringing to the town manager, and I'll be bringing, ultimately, I think, to the town council regarding that type of plan. Because I believe the 830J plan, when it normally goes through, correct me if I'm wrong, but has been adopted by the council in the past. So that is, again, a town plan. So this will be a newer type of plan. We don't know what the allocations are yet. They actually have to do the work to come up with those numbers, and then we'll have to figure out what that is. My goal at the end of the day is to be in the room as much as possible, kind of have discussions about that, because I think having the town's input, I think every town needs to be in the room at the COG level when they're working on this, because it does affect us all. We discussed it briefly at Casio today. There are some, which is the Connecticut Association of Zoning Enforcement Officials. Some of the discussion was primarily around, certain things in this law that likely may need to get changed regarding parking. There's interesting talking about the whole, if it's under 16 units, you don't require any parking for, analysis. If it's over 16, you can require a parking analysis. It's, you can choose. It seems like it's put in the commission's purview that you have a choice, but not a choice. Right now, it's either you go with what we have, the one space for every studio in one and the 2 spaces for 2 and above, or the developer is able to do a parking needs analysis. And then it sounds like that the commission is kind of mandated to use whatever is lesser of the 2. And the way it's written does cause some concerns, general public health and safety concerns, same ones we've discussed when applications have come in front of us. My biggest thing is, can our fire truck fit in there? Can we respond? That's going to be, what I'm looking at, especially for how these can impact us. Because at the end of the day, it's more along life and safety is key. That's the point. That's one of the primary points of the zoning regulations is health and safety. So again, I will keep working on that. I don't know if you have anything else to report, Eric.
You guys also got the memo that I included in the packet I briefly touched on earlier about the request from the Zoning Board of Appeals to review the side yard setback specifically in the R12 zone, as it was rezoned at one point from the R10, and all those existing garages became non-conforming in houses. And I can say the bulk of the applications we typically get now are to add on to those garages that were perfectly fine when they were built. They were permitted, met the setback requirements, but now they don't. And I can't allow an expansion of the nonconformity, so the ZBA, and I just put some quick stats in there I was able to pull from about 1977 forward about how many variance applications we received for that type of thing, and you can see they've approved a lot, but not all. So there are some people that, walk away unhappy. But that's what the ZBA does is, they take each case on a case-by-case basis, each application. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this or want to consider it to potentially reduce these types of applications in this zone in particular.
Yeah, I personally think we should. I sat on the Board of Appeals eons ago, and we were hearing him back then, and it was, well, every neighbor around me has it, but I can't have it now.
Right.
So, it does, you know, sometimes I get it. It fits our new zoning regulations, but it doesn't fit the neighborhood.
Right, I mean, part of their argument is now is that by rezoning it, we created a non-conforming, the town created a non-conforming now, then they're living with it. It's, something to potentially consider maybe is if the garage was built, permitted, and met the requirements and they want to add on to it, fine, if they're not expanding it, but that's, that's really your regulations.
Yep. And I've actually seen regulations, I believe you too, that actually allow
Yeah.
a vertical expansion. So that's an easy way to address, this specific thing, or it depends on how deep or dive you want to go into it. Again, from a timing perspective, I think, we will be looking at the zoning regulations sooner than later. I do have to clear a couple grants that I'm working on right now. I can report that we are meeting with West Hartford on a regular basis now to get that Rec Trails grant through, get it actually published, because we have it, they have theirs. But right now, getting the two of our towns' procurement processes together, that's we're gonna get through that step and get this thing published out for proposals and get some proposals and complete that study. Again, it's primarily an engineering study. We're not proposing building anything immediately at this time. We'll have to go for another grant to do that type of project. But that is something that I need to get going and get in place for us to get to that next step of getting that connection, basically from moving that fast track up to West Hartford and connecting it to Trout Brook and working through there and creating a better network for both towns at the end of the day. So it kind of came to be that we got ours and they got theirs the next year. I've been working with the planners and the communities around us even more now that I've been here almost 3 years. So now we actually have good working relationships, and I think we might see more dual applications in the future, I hope. So the other thing I'd like to report, again, I'm going to do this under town planners report as well. I noted it before, but I put it up there for your view. So this is the actual, and I'll read it correctly. This is the application received of Premier Real Estate Services 2 LLC for site plan approval, 41 rental apartment homes under CGS 830G, 103 Lewis Street, Newington, Connecticut. So again, that would be received. And then, as I noted earlier, we're going to go through the process, review it, get comments back out to them, meet with them, and then schedule from there.
Thank you. Any other questions, Commissioner Herpy?
None of those people that have been affected by the zone change that you discussed, none of that stuff could be grandfathered back in the day. I mean,
No, the garage was built legally, but if they want to do an addition to the garage, not a vertical one, if they just want to add another bay to the garage, that would be expanding the nonconformity, and I can't grandfather that in. That would have to go before the zoning board of appeals.
yeah, no, I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's no grandfather leverage here.
Yeah, there's no, you had this, it was okay before in the old zone, but the new zone is different, because otherwise then zoning would follow all the way back to the first booklet, which was yay big, which would be fun to work with someday to actually have a zoning booklet. But no, we have bigger regulations.
Chaotic.
Yeah, and then people would pick and choose which regulations. Oh, I like the 54 version rather than 1930, whatever. But that's kind of what we get into.
Are you all set?
These some of these pending applications want to add a room above the garage if they have it now? or-
Some do, and others just want to add on to the side of the house that was conforming before, and now they're gonna encroach into that side yard setback.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Pascarelli?
My comment would be if our planner has, when you have time, I would like to see a recommendation on what the changes could look like from your perspective, what makes sense
Yeah.
to the town and helps people out and kind of meets everybody in the middle for these variances, all of these variances, so.
Set. Commissioner Hoffman, nothing. Commissioner Fox?
I have nothing, sir.
I have one quick question. Do we know approximately, I don't want to nail anybody down, but I mean, do we know how many properties this involves?
R12 zone is 34% of all properties in town.
34%?
A lot. Yeah, most of the ones we're talking about, honestly, are those post-war subdivisions.
Up north end of town.
Yeah.
Mulney.
So that were built like that,
Yeah,
Crestview, Mountain View, you know, all the way up.
Woodmere.
Yep, up into that area. The newer ones that were built after the true R12 regulations, they're fine.
Okay.
It's those ones that were built
I
before
was
they got
just
changed.
wondering, I'm looking at 78, it's an awful lot of
Mhm.
applications that came in. And, you know, so I'm just wondering if we were to, if you could get us some
I can try and get some more harder numbers for.
Yep. And again, you know, I plan to, I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, but I plan to work with our GIS technician to see what we can do to visualize.
That'd be great.
If we can make it work and we can get a good visual to show what parts of the
Mm-hmm.
town and kind of, you know, it's a little bit of a project, but you get the history, what was rezoned. This was the original. Okay, those are your areas of focus. How much is conforming, non-conforming even within that? That kind of gives you a baseline to know really how much you're affecting. I think that's kind of important whenever we do any of this bigger zoning
No,
change.
It is, Paul. I just want to have some idea. I mean, I kind of figured it was the north end of Newington, which was developed earlier. And some of the center maybe. But, you know, I don't know for sure. I'm just curious. I'd like to know.
Yep. And again, if it's something, it sounds like there is a interest in the TPZ of doing this. So it is something
I'd like to
we
look
could
at it.
allocate some
You know,
time for.
I know your plate's full and overflowing, but. you
I
know,
will also, my next ZBA meeting, I'll just ask them for some recommendations that they may
Okay.
want to see, just so we can consider and look at that.
Let's try to work
globally.
together, not against each
Yep.
other.
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
my thing. Okay? All right, thank you. Okay, second part of, the public participation for items not on the agenda. Anybody wish to speak on anything else?
No one has their hand raised. Oh, we do
Okay.
have a hand raised online. Go ahead, Rose.
Hi, Rose Lyons, 46 Elton Drive, and I just don't know whether this is allowed or not, but I want to put my 2 cents worth in about the reviewing the regulations that now have to go before ZBA. My next door neighbor recently went and appeared before the ZBA and was granted the exception to go ahead and do the addition to, or go to build up on his garage. I personally think that it's a great idea. I know it's more work, but I think it's a good idea to give people that live in older homes, like around my area in the north end of town, the option to go up as long as it's not too overpowering for the neighborhood. We want to try and keep these young people on our street, at least I do, and that's why I went and testified that I was in favor of it. So if you can just take a look at it, and if it's within the realm of possibility, I'd like to see you do it. If not, and it's a lot of work, I understand, we'll have to go through ZBA. But that being said, I wish you all a happy and healthy holiday season, and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else online?
No one online that has their hand raised, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman.
Hearing none, any remarks by commissioners? Commissioner Harvey?
Just had a quick comment. With the advent of all of this new housing legislation, the governor's signed the bill. Would it make any sense to have one of the law firms that you know that you've worked with for land use and zoning, like Holliday and Sage, for example, to just kind of walk through this thing with you and us and whoever else? Because it seems to me from the sessions I attended at the legislature, it's not even a question of intelligence. It's just a question of the way the bill is scattered into 56 some odd sub-bills and the application of, you know, no single council can do anything about this now, even if they have a great idea, I guess, because it's law. But it seems to me there's an awful lot of danger points in it, high-risk areas. You take the homeless, for example, there's no transition housing left for them. So they're going to go on the street. And there are towns that be surprised that they're going to sleep on a bench or sleep in the park. And to provide a portable shower and things like that is not an inducement for helping them. It just isn't. I've worked with them a number of years ago for Polk, Louisiana. They're not the kind of people that go get their SNAP money. They don't have an account. I mean, it's just, there's a mixture of real issues and some fabricated, but most of them have significant issues. That's not really resolved by the bill. And then the conversion of commercial properties to residential properties might be a good concept, but you don't want to end up like Bridgeport, where you have such a mixed zone of a guy's house next to a 40,000 square foot gun company or something, you made that point in the past. So I think this needs a lot of looking at, fairness to all of us. And then we'll go with whatever you say, I think, Paul, on your recommendation, but I'll take some pressure off you, I think. And certainly, I know you like to work 1,000 hours a week, but we'll cut it down to 900 maybe. That's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoffman, anything to say?
No, I'm good.
Commissioner Fox?
No, I'm fine, thank you. Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you. Hearing none, my closing remarks are, everyone have a great holiday. Thank you very much for showing up and participating tonight. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So move. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.